just gives you that extra confidence. And
we'll see who's got that confidence now. Yeah, it's gate is down on this one, and we've got 42 of the fastest riders here this weekend from around the world into that first turn, and a big fist bump there by our early leader.
Looks like Crockett to me.
Yeah, I believe that is the 411 Crockett Myers, and a lot of passing going on through that field right there, but we'll get them all sorted out as they come around here in just a few moments. But man, like we were pointing out there just a moment ago, that start is critical and important, and right now you can see that Crockett's going to try to take advantage of this clean racetrack and just go as fast as he can, and he's already starting to open things up. Actually, those front 3 or 4 are starting to get a pretty good gap opening up.
Yeah, for sure, especially Crockett right now. You definitely want to get a little gap early with the smooth track, because you're the only guy that's going to be hitting it super fresh, and most of the guys are going to be following you because you'll have the line. So he's got an advantage right now.
Now, as far as the that big sweeper section out there, you know, I noticed that a lot of folks like to go outside and obviously down the middle of the track. But is there any point, like say fresh racetrack or beaten up racetrack, is there any point of the track that is better all the time, or is it just changed throughout the course of the racing day?
In my opinion, I would say it definitely changes a lot throughout the day. And for instance, in a moto like this where it's fresh, you definitely want to take the shortest track. Cut off the most real estate that you can, and
it seems to pay dividends. There's your leaders now making their way down in front of the Yamaha announcing tower, and we'll be checking in with our first lap complete. Green flag waves on this one, and Crockett Myers has certainly gotten off to a blistering pace here in this first lap of moto number 2. Right now, Myers looking at a second place position finish in his first moto, so a 2-1 puts him in control of the championship. Now again, this is after the first lap. Grant Hoffman running in the number 2 spot here. Eddie Norris Jr., the 188, is 3rd. Cameron Duro in 4th. Daniel Borderland in the number 5 spot. Gabe Andrigo in 6th. Corey Carson in 7th. Nate Mason in 8th. It's Kimball Jett in 9th. Aiden Dickens rounding out the top 10. And just a quick check of that top 20 for you here on this first lap. Derek Leatherman, Jackson Pascal, Ty Casey, Mitch Zazaremba in the number 14 spot. Keegan Rowley, Corey Rogers, Brent Burrows. 18th is Hayden Justice. Jay Sean Porter in 19th, and Liam Langer rounding out your top 20 after 1.
Yeah, it looks like Cody Groves, he won the first moto, and he's far back right now, or won one of the divisions.
Yeah, and again, that is contingent upon the start. Oftentimes, you know, you hope and you think a good gate pick, and with winning one of your division races, you're going to have one of the ultimate gate picks. But even having a great gate pick, sometimes many different things can happen off that start, change things up in the blink of an eye.
Most definitely. Just all about getting off that start clean in these fresh track motos, but he's got some work to do.
Absolutely. Grant Hoffman pretty much by himself in the number 2 spot. Eddie Norris has secured that 3rd place a little bit more solid, I think, here at the end of lap number 2. It's back there behind him where things are heating up. That 58 machine now, Cameron Duro, is feeling that pressure from Daniel Porterland. Those two going at it for 4th and 5th. Here comes the 103. He's around Carson now for 6th place. Nate Mason moves up 1. Looks like he might have his head down and charging and looking for a little better finish here in this second moto. Crockett Myers again. If we start breaking it down as far as the overall is concerned, we're looking at a 2-1 for Crockett Myers, a 2-2 for Grant Hoffman. Eddie Norris at a 4-3 would score him 3rd overall right now. And as we look down through the roster of riders here, some of our top 10 finishers struggling. Mitch Zaremba up to 10th now, as he finished 4th place. And there you see Cody Groves is running 18th place position after winning his first division Moto 1 race.
Yeah, definitely got off to a rough start. Let's see if he can come back through the pack and get up there with him.
The 18th place, and we'll watch that and see how things are going to work for him here on lap number 3 now, as things seem to be about the same for our top 5 as we watch these riders making their way off the back of the gator here.
it's always tough when you get that first moto win and then you have a bad start in the second moto and you got to fight from the back. It's definitely not a great feeling.
Kind of a sense of urgency hits you quick, don't it?
Definitely, and you feel like you're rushing everywhere trying to get through people, and it's stressful.
And of course, now, would you rather have that happen at the end of the race where you had to make that mad dash, or would you rather make that mad dash and push right from the beginning?
Well, I've made a few mistakes personally where I just get so excited in the beginning and then make a big mistake. And if you fall in the beginning, everyone's so close, you're going to get passed by so many people. But then you could also look at it where everyone's so close and you can pass a lot of people at the beginning. So it's a give and take, and you really have to decide on what you're more comfortable with. And if you are comfortable with going at that pace at the beginning of the moto before you really know the track, then go for it. But if you're a little timid at the beginning of the moto, then maybe it's better to stay in charge at the end.
And like you said, confidence is key, the key point in all that, confidence in your abilities. And the more preparation you have into coming into an event, the more confidence you have. Crockett Myers still out front of Grant Hoffman. Eddie Norred Jr. still in the number 3 spot. Daniel Borderland in 4th. Cameron Duro checking in after 3 in 5th. Then it's Nate Mason in 6th. Aiden Dickens is 7th. Kimball Jett in 8th. Corey Karsten now in 9th. And Mitchell Zaremba up from back in the teens, about 16th now into a 10th place position.
Uncharacteristic start for Zaremba, normally up front a little closer to the lead pack, but as you said, outside the top 15 or so, putting in some early work here, 3 laps in, working himself up into the top 10. Mason not getting the best of starts either, and he put that 103 Yamaha up into that 6th position right now.
Watching right now on RacerTV.com, the 45 of Mitchell Zaremba, turning a 149. He's faster than the 2 riders in front of him, both Kimball Jett and Corey Carson, as they wrapped up lap number 3. And looks like with a little free racetrack, he might try to reel in Dickens, but they were running pretty close to similar lap times in that department.
One thing that's not going to happen, not Mason, Zaremba's not going to get tired. Have you seen that guy with his shirt off? This dude's chiseled, dude. I'm here to tell you, you are not going to wear Zaremba down. I'm telling you. Got that Zac Efron thing going on, you know what I mean? Crazy. And he was on the podium with you, Rodney, so he looked twice as good.
Right.
Made him look all the better, you know. I was like, wow.
Well, that'll happen sometimes. All right, Crockett Myers just... Oh, we got some changes back in 3rd. Borderland gets around. Nora Duro is in the number 5 spot. Nate Mason now chipping away at that 5th place position on Cameron Duro. Got some changes back there as Zaremba is up to 9th now, and he's working on Kimball Jett, the 94. If you're watching that 45 machine, I believe that's them going over the back of the Gator right now. And in all honesty, watch what's going on there as Zaremba pushes up on the rear there. What he's seeing just ahead of him is Kimball Jett, Aiden Dickens, Nate Mason, and Cameron Duro. They're really not that far ahead.
And look at the effort by Zaremba. Did you see him take that outside? He stuffed that outside from. He was praying those tires were going to hold, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's looking good right now. He's looking to come through and pass these guys and get up to the front.
And when you said, Rodney, he's going to have a pack of them right now. So he's going to really able to use the strategy on all of them. He knows where he's making time. He's a couple seconds quicker than the next 2 guys up the road. So I'm going to put that to good. Oh, big swap right there. And I believe, who was that? That was Dickens?
I believe, might have been Jett.
All right, yeah, it was Jett. Big swap right there, and maybe starting to feel the pressure a little bit.
For sure, especially when you're Zaremba in this position, you have the advantage watching Kimball, watching his lines and seeing where you're gaining time and where you aren't. And then once he gets around him, he can use that for the next rider and the next rider going forward. So he's in a good spot right now. He just needs to make these moves pretty quickly.
Casey, one thing I've noticed, it seems like in the split lane and sometimes down at the bottom of the Gator pit, the inside and the outside work equally well depending on your position. You know, it's like neither one's really quick or whatever, but depending on what suits you, you can use either line with equal results.
Right, those are always really dependent on motos. I mean, I'm always going down looking at those and deciding whether I want to go outside the bottom of the Gator pit or inside before the moto, and that's the decision you have to make and really just see where everyone's going and choose the best line that you think will work for you, because if you go inside the bottom of the gator pit, then you have a better angle for the roller before the step ups, and then if you do go outside, then it's a worse angle, but that's faster at the bottom, so it's give and take.
Exactly.
Just figuring it out.
And it's whether not all tracks are like that.
Right.
You know, I mean, not all tracks. There's a distinct advantage. A lot of corners, the inside, the outside, this and that, but a lot of places here, it just works equally well.
For sure.
Well, I don't know if you're watching as they head back out on the tail of the gator. I don't know what it's going to mean for the overall, but man, Cameron Duro is all over Eddie Norred Jr. for that 4th place position right now. And if you look at what that might do for Duro's overall score, a 3 and a 4 would then score him 8. That might actually put him up into a top 3 overall. So this is a pretty heavy and important pass that he is trying to make, and that will, as I do the quick math, that would secure the overall 3rd for him here, and that would mean a whole lot, Boating, especially whenever you add that to your Supercross scores and when you're going for the Olympiads and such.
What just got heavy then for Duro, didn't it?
It did.
Right there for sure. Each position counts right now when we talk about being on the box or off. Listen, there's a couple levels of accomplishment, and it's a big accomplishment just to be on the box down here.
Well, I tell you right here, we're going to get the tail of the tape on this one as Crockett Myers leads this one from top of the gate to checkers. Grant Hoffman holds a steady 2nd place position for